you won't have no electronics.
Mm-hmm.
So how will you be able to compensate for that before the system be able to be repaired?
Mm-hmm. And so I got tapes out on that, the how to survive the first 90 days blackout and 100 days when it hit the fan, and what supplies you would need, the solar generators and all that. We got that too in the military playlist. Go ahead, Roy. This right here.
If you remember, Aaron, you should post them in the description here after the fact.
Yeah, I do it. I got all that. I posted in there.
Yeah. So she said, how do you see all this playing out realistically? Realistically, I see them securing what they call critical key points with the National Guard. I see them then exposing the Obama arrest as the opening of the disclosure. And the reason I believe that is because they've been doing soft disclosure, and Trump just came and sat out and said that Obama committed treason, and they got all the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to have to be the gateway to the floodgate of the fall of the cabal exposure.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the big movies, central casting. And then, of course, once all of that stuff heats up, that's to try to conceal the arrival. Remember that. Chief, what's your insight on gold? I know you spoke about it a couple of times. It's going to be the controlling currency on the reset because we're going to be doing away with credit.
Mm-hmm.
When we don't need for credit, right? So gold was going to be the standard. You can either get it in gold notes or you can get it in gold coins. But gold will be the controlling backing of the welfare people that taking away the debt system. So everybody will be able to have the means to get what you want. Plus, when you switch over to the gold standard and bring the new currency online, it's going to crash inflation. That means prices is going to plummet. And remember, it's a good chance that a lot of people are not going to understand what's going on and tear their cities up, raid their grocery stores. So we need to learn how or know how to sustain ourselves in a time of crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Greetings, how can we dialogue? I have resources. I searched for your emails, could not locate. I don't use email. The most likely way to contact me is by Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger. But I haven't been answering my messages lately because I've been moving away from social media. So now I'm primarily I just post.
All right, y'all. We'll take about one more question, and then we'll get up out of here.
So when the shit hit the fan, it falls to the ability that was bestowed upon us as the collective or individually to sustain life, or what's ours as sovereign beings. Yes, it's always been our right, but we had to remember the method. Not only was it our right, whenever we remembered the method and one of us used the method, it began to be self-actualizing to conquer the fraud. It become being on who can alert the most people of the fraud. How do we know it's the real Obama been arrested? We don't because of his clones, but we do know that the real Obama had already been arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Right before he got arrested after the Bush boys.
Mm-hmm.
So when they arrested the Bush boys, right before he got arrested, he did a speech at some Democrat convention saying that you shouldn't use the the JAG courts on your political opponents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, shout out to that boy Montu Raw. He said check out Ham. He said check out Ham Radio certifications. I'm gonna check that out, Montu. Shout out for the super chat. Hey man, we got about 2,000 people on. If everybody can send Rod $1, that'll put them in the game. So we need Rod sitting at home calling these plays like this on these cats. Because this right here, we at what you call crunch time. As we go out, as we crack, they get out of here and get rocks and run Big Mama stuff back. We got to keep an eye on them because they the type of guys that like to kick you in the balls before they leave. You know what I'm saying? They the type of guy like to get one off on you. So we ain't gonna let them get that one off on us this time. We're gonna block that one they're trying to get off on us. Hey, so Rod, I go say Rod.
They still gotta tell us everything they're gonna do. That's why we warned everybody about these schools.
Yeah.
They told us what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So all we can do is either listen or suffer the consequences.
Yeah. But
they sure gonna try to kick us in the testicles.
Yeah, right before they get out of here. They them type of guys, you know. But we watching for that though. Hey y'all, so yeah, if you can send them more, send them 5. We can get 100 people to send them 5. That'll put them in the game. We got 2,000 people, so we gotta keep Rod in the game so that we can keep them sitting here watching these suckers 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Because we at crunch time here. We've been at war for so long. We think it's normal. We think that we ain't at war because we in a normal. We feel like it's normal. War is normal because we're doing it so long. You know what I'm saying? But they've been attacking us.
And a lot of us don't realize that war take different forms depending on what stage of the war conflict you in.
Mm-hmm.
We fighting a 500-year-old protracted struggle, right? We've been fighting it in every field of human endeavor: education, economics, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, war, and health. Right? So we've been fighting it the whole time, but we started getting to the point we forgot we was fighting it, and we started enjoying being dancing on the battlefield.
And also, like I said, hey, Roy, I need you to send me that one you had Trump talking about that paperwork, because Trump was saying in that paperwork that he was saying that paperwork that they got Obama. They said they got the 5,000 papers or something on all the crimes that Obama and his whole organization was. I was like, man, this would have been crazy. This would have get. Ain't no telling what's up in that paperwork.
They say everything that Obama did, he was recording it. It was like he had they discovered a diary or something, or a ledger where he was going over, but that's how they got it cataloged. It don't necessarily have to be a journal. It could be emails, text messages. You know what I'm saying? Recorded conversations in closed rooms. Because politicians do that.
Yeah.
They have to record certain conversations, but they got to have a private conversation, and then later they release the contents of the conversation. Right? So whatever the conversation that's been taking place that's recorded, they have the entirety of everything red-handed coming out of the office that they traced him to. But we think that's fake news because fake news is so prominent. Real news sound absurd.
Right? That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, y'all. We're going to be back, y'all. If we might be back on Monday, we can try to keep you updated about every 3-4 days on what's going on in the land, because we at crunch time now. Big Mamas, they finna run Big Mama stuff. Ain't no questions asked. Ain't nothing to talk about no more. Unless you want to holler at Uncle JoJo. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to talk about no more. Because our Uncle JoJo's finna come back. They got rid of our Uncle JoJo's. That we always, every family had their Uncle Joe, or had that enforcer that kept, you know what I'm saying? Every family had one of those. Chucky Williams was one. He was one of them ones that he actually went around beating up bullies. He actually hated gangs. Tookie actually hated gangs. He went around beating up gang members until he met Raymond Washington. And then he said, okay, yeah, we can hook up. Him and Raymond, right? But yeah, man, we back on the land. That's how we rocking. Hey, y'all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. And as always, free all our political prisoners. Shout out all our matriarchs returning on the land. We back in business, y'all. And on that note, we out. You want to say something, Rod?
Yeah, remember, we went over people giving public notices so that we aware that Chief Pioneer Rod Hayes not the only one using the tribal format. Right? Disregard what you think the person that's serving the public notice is supposed to look like. Look at the cause and effect of it. Right? Why would we let people that don't look like us give the public notice? Because we're not sending nobody else out there that look like us to get murdered. Because they know what we're doing. So we draft representatives to do it the same way they do. And it's an old rule. You can't shoot the messenger. Right? So the messenger, we can send whoever we want to send. But if we send one of us, we ain't the messenger. We are the authority. So they're trying to kill the authority. But you can't kill the authority if you send the messenger.
Right.
You walk in jurisdictional supremacy and don't even know it. Right? So we have to let people that understand how it's corrupted put them on public notice to shut the corruption down, which also serves as a secondary effect of me being able to show y'all the dismantling of the fraud in real time. So that was the purpose of this, was to go over that information and to remind y'all, notice the agent, notice the principal. Right? All media outlets with a reach of more than 1,000 people in a time-stamped archivable format is the measure for accurate and correct public notice. Anybody who want to issue their sovereign public notice, any social media is a valid outlet for you to state your ability to govern yourself to the fraudulent system so that we can make it known we don't need it no more. Anybody can do it, and it don't got to be long. You just got to put it in the public. On social media, it's in a time-stamped archivable format. Right? And that's the reason we're doing it. It's the tribal standard of redemption from the legal fiction. And this week, it looked like it's about to heat up. So I was pretty much accurate on the September-October timeline that I was seeing. Now they're giving every indication that they're finna roll out the disclosure arrest part, rounding up the last little vestiges of the ones who thought they had some semblance of power. Right? So I'm gonna take the first person, Sock 7.
What's good, Chief?
What's going on with you? Hold on 1 second. My sound gotta be mine. Okay, go ahead.
This is Chief Sock tapping in from Seattle, and I wanted to just say thank you for all the information you've been dropping. We've been super tapped in, and one question that I wanted to ask you specifically for me is my lineage goes back specifically to Sunjata Keita, right? And so Abu Bakr II, as I've done my studying, I've looked into it, and there seems to be like a huge land claim, right, for the land that Abu Bakr, quote unquote, had. I heard somewhere that he had millions of acres in his possession. Do you know anything like about that and its like connection to the Washita, and if that land is ever going to get realistically established, or if we have to come back and basically establish that for ourselves?
Okay, first of all, Abu Bakr didn't land in North what's called today North America. Abu Bakr was the brother of the richest king from West Africa. What was his name? Uh, I don't know. I can't right now. I can't go in
Mansa
a blank.
Musa.
Mansa
Mansa
Musa.
Musa.
Yeah, yeah. So Abu Bakr was Mansa Musa's brother, and he came over, and he had something was called the ruler spear. It's a particular spear that was carved by the shaman of the tribe to show the royal authority of the tribe. And when the settlers came, the colonizers came, they located that spear in South America.
Okay.
And he had children and multiple wives from the Americas. So
Okay.
it's an island close to Brazil that got a lot of his offspring on it, descendants. And then going on into South America, he had royal rights through marriage to rule over a sizable portion of that. But he had rulership rights. He didn't have land rights.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay.
The women
Okay.
he was married to retained their land rights.
I see.
So that was passed down matrilineally.
I see.
Right. I've been telling people on the west coast of Africa has been marrying and intermingling with the eastern shoreboard of the Americas and the islands for thousands of years. So we would definitely have some phenotypical and genetic markers that's similar. And then the majority of the West Coast African tribes or traditions say they came from over here.
Mm. Mm.
Right? So they giving us they Eurocentric, Romanized worldview with the out of Africa theory, right? The out of Africa theory was designed to leave the rest of the world up for conquest outside of Africa.
Right.
So
Right.
nobody owns anything outside of Africa because the original people they saying is from Africa. But that
Right.
was before they came up with the enormous amount of wealth discovered in Africa. And it wasn't called Africa. It wasn't called Africa until after it was divided up at the Berlin
Right.
Conference,
Right.
right? So when they divided it up, they named the continent Ifriqiya, which is Arabic for the divided lands,
Mm.
because they
Mm.
divided it up in the Berlin Conference.
Mm.
Most of us forget that it was Berber Moors that was ruling Europe at that time. And these Berber Moors was using Arabic terminologies with an English twist on it, what they call a transliteration.
Hmm.
And the
Okay.
purpose of that is to confuse you about what the word means.
So you'll find a lot of Qurans with different transliterations.
Well, the Qurans are controlled by the Arab scholars, but it was created by the Catholic Church, right? And a lot of Muslims get upset when I say that, and they say that the Catholic Church had nothing to do with Islam. But they don't have no answer for where they get a Quran from when they murdered all the Hafiz and burned all known copies of the Quran. So what Quran you got now? Who wrote that motherfucker?
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the advisors to Muhammad in the Hadith was all Catholic priests. Khadijah was a nun who the church gave her wealth back to marry Muhammad. His number one scriptural teacher was her uncle named Waraka, Ibn Hanifi or something like that,
Okay.
Nafi or something. But his name was Waraka. So when you read in the Quran, when they say, Muhammad, if you have any doubt in what we tell you, consult with the scholars from the scriptures of old. They tell you to go to the biblical scholar, which was
Right.
Waraka, right? So it was all a construct because they couldn't control the temperament of the people from the Middle East using the Catholic religion. It wasn't strict enough to give them the control they need. So that's why they got the Quran. The Muslims got to pray 5 times a day. You can't live your life and every time you doing something, you got to stop and bow down and kiss somebody's ass. Right? That's not living.
There's no way. Yeah, exactly. Because we was all here before, so what was happening before that whole school of thought came through, and that was my first thing in the Islam, because my middle name is Malik, right? And that was something that my dad said came to him when he was naming me, and then all of this really unraveled, and I found out about the roots that I had, and I found out of the Maliki school of thought, and I'm wondering, how did they get so deep into where you see the situation in like Afghanistan, where they have women that aren't even allowed to really uncover themselves like that? So do you think that that could have been a part of really taking away from the matriarchal like effect of what they had power over?
You know, you familiar with the Hijra?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So Muhammad count Islamic years according to the Hijra. The Hijra was a incursion on elephant back into Mecca to overthrow the heathen. The elephants end up losing because some birds came and dropped some flaming stones on them. That's metaphor for the tanks that was rolling across the land was bombed by air support. Right? The elephants is representing of the matriarchy. So when it's telling you that the matriarchs was marching into Mecca, this is when they replace Alat as the deity in the Kaaba with Allah.
Oh snap!
Alat was first, but when they write it in the Quran now, it was the 3 sisters, and they the daughters of Allah in the Quran. So their presence is still in Islam,
Yeah,
but their prominence was switched in the Hijra.
dang.
So when they switched, the patriarchy switched to the matriarchy was overthrown by the patriarchs, and this is when they said they took and cleansed all of the 360 idols, which was Tehillim, which is family totem statuary, right? And they serve more purpose than just religious worship. They was
Yeah,
power symbols for that family or that clan. And when you hear about Solomon marrying all them women, and then he was taking on certain stuff from them, right? He
right.
was getting a family power structure. So now, as a chaos magician, he got all these